If you look out behind me, you'll see just a little sliver of water, or what appears to be a little sliver of water. But there are literally millions and millions of gallons of water behind me. I'm standing on one of the shores of Lake Powell. Now, Lake Powell is on the Utah-Arizona border, and it's a ginormous lake that stretches for miles. There are literally miles upon miles of shoreline on this lake. And even though right now the lake is down from its peak, it still contains mountainous volumes of water. Now, what is the most astounding to me about this whole area, you can see off in the distance, if you look really close, you'll see little houseboats out in the water. And from where we're at, they look pretty small, but these houseboats are actually quite large. They're bigger than some trailers that I've actually seen. There was a houseboat that a friend of mine stayed on recently, and they were like, it has 3 stories, it has 8 bedrooms. It wasn't a house, it was a mansion on the water. And yet it looks, compared to the water, like a teeny ant. Now, there's a few things that really strike me about this. One of them is this concept that this lake didn't used to exist. This used to just be desert. But someone had a vision. They had an idea. And they took that idea and they started sharing it with other people and sharing it with other people. And a team started to coalesce. And the abilities came together, and the necessary items like money and backing and permission all came together in the right way to build something monumental. Now, to me, this lake represents what each of us have inside of us. And what we each have inside of us is we have the ability to dream, and then we can take those dreams and turn them into reality. But oftentimes, we cannot accomplish this on our own. No one person could have built this lake. But you get enough of the right people that can all see that vision. They can all understand the dream, the hope, the goal, and they can work together in a way that builds something absolutely monumental. Now, I've come down here and enjoyed Lake Powell for years and years, but one of the things that I find is most incredible about it is it offers a moment of peace and serenity where I can tap into myself and really get an idea of what is it I'm trying to accomplish in life? Where is it I'm trying to go? Now, I'm not saying that you have to come down to a giant man-made lake and spend time in solitude and in reflection, but I am saying that each one of us should find a place where we can pause, push the world aside, have a moment or moments where we can just be alone with our thoughts and be alone with ourselves and find out what our subconscious is trying to tell us, but we often can't hear because we're so busy with the noise of life and the noise of demands and the daily routines that we're constantly chasing. But I think as we each take a little bit of time to really dive into ourselves, we can find our own personal Lake Powell, that vision that we have deep inside, and we can start to reflect on it and start to move that up to the surface of our consciousness. And the more that we get into that, and the more that we chase that, the more that we'll be living the purpose that we have on this life. And as we live that purpose, I think that we're happier, our problems seem smaller, our hopes seem bigger, we accomplish more, we enjoy life more. There's so many benefits to really diving deep and finding what it is. Now, some people that I've talked to in the past, they're like, oh yeah, that's fine for other people, it's not for me. But what I found was, those people sometimes are actually living what it is that's deep inside them, and they don't realize it. To me, some of the most important things a human can do is to care for others. Now, when I see a mother taking care of her kids, when I see a father providing for their family, when I see people working together to help others out, those are the kinds of things I'm talking about. It doesn't need to be a monument built into land. It needs to be a monument etched in the history of our lives. Something that's etched in the sands of time. That is the true Lake Powell for most humans. So now another question I hear is people will say, oh no, I don't have a purpose, I don't have a dream, I don't have any of that kind of stuff, I just have a daily routine. And that's fine. I've been there myself where I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Oftentimes, in those moments, if we live with excellence, but we leave the door open, then we'll start to hear at some point those whisperings in our brain calling us, inviting us, helping us, nudging us along to what we are supposed to be doing. And sometimes what we're supposed to be doing in our life is living with excellence each moment until we know what we should be doing. So if you don't have your vision yet, or maybe if you do, I'd invite you either way to take a little bit of time to just ponder what it is you could or should be doing to make the world a better place.